All praises. All praises. Shalom, shalom, Israel, fisherman for Zion, coming back at you again with another live stream. And we give all glory and honor to the Most High God, Yahweh, right? And we do so in the name of his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, the man who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, our Savior, our Lord, our Redeemer, right? The man that shed his blood and sacrificed his life for the Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans, God's chosen people, the Israelites, right, that have been carried away captive and fallen away from their nationality, but now found in these last days, right? We reverence our Father in the name of his only begotten Son, because we do all things through him, right? It's by him that we're here today to give you another breakdown, another lesson, right, through the Spirit, right? So today we're going to talk about regeneration, right, in the scriptures, right? And again, with the fisherman for Zion, right, located in Fayetteville, North Carolina, right? We come at you in spirit and truth. Double honors to all of the elders that's been before us, pushing this word and this truth and meekness and sincerity for decades and decades, right? Double honors, right, to the brothers that go out and do what we do, that push the word and truth and sincerity on the highways and the hedges and the byways as the Lord commanded us, right? Another shalom to the sisters, right, that are repenting in these last days, putting on their dresses and their hair wraps and being daughters of Sarah, right? Shalom to the brothers and the children that are getting their spirits right for the coming of our Lord and our Savior, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, right? So we're going to do a lesson through the Spirit. Last Sabbath, we talked about hell. Where do you go when you die, right? So we're going to further along the topic with regeneration. A lot of people think that when you die, right, you go, if you've been bad, you go to a place called hell underground, but the Lord never created a place called hell underground, right? That's not in the Bible, right? It's not from Genesis to the book of Revelation, the 22nd chapter, to the last word, amen, to the period. It's not in the scriptures, right? There's something in the Bible called a regeneration, right, where your spirit regenerates, right? And so we're going to go through the precept to break that down. But first, we're going to get Acts chapter 18 and verse 4.
Reading out the book of Acts, 18, verse 4. And he reasoned in the synagogue every Sabbath and persuaded the Jews and the Greeks.
Right? So it's our job and our duty to persuade the Jews and the Greeks, right? The Jews being the Israelites that know that they're Israelites, chiefly the so-called black man, chiefly three tribes, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, right? And our brothers and sisters that don't know that they're Israelites, that are living like the Greeks, that have been Hellenized from their nationality, right? So we got to wake up all 12 tribes of Israel, right, whithersoever they have been scattered, right? And we do this through Philippians chapter 4 and verse 13, because that's where we get all of our strength from, through the Lord. Real quick, can a brother get that? Philippians, the 4th chapter and 13th verse.
The book of Philippians chapter 4 and verse 13. I can do all things through Christ, which strengtheneth me.
Right, read it again.
Philippians 4 and 13. I can do all things through Christ, which strengtheneth me.
Right, so it's about the spirit and the grace of the Most High that we're here to bring out this lesson to our people, right? That has been hidden from us for ages and ages because we've been taught by men that went to seminary school, men that went to theology school, where they didn't teach them the proper doctrine with the scriptures, right? The proper milk in order to receive salvation, right? Simple things, right? But today we're going to get into a little bit of meat about regeneration, right? So let's kick it off with the book of Matthew, right? Chapter 19, right? Let's kick it off with Matthew chapter 19, right? And verse 28, right? Matthew 19 and 28, whoever got it.
Book of Matthew chapter 19, verse 28, and it reads, and Jesus said unto them, verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration.
In the what?
In the regeneration.
Right, the Lord himself, right, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, which is a so-called black man, right? He said, truly, truly, I say unto you, those of you that had followed me in the regeneration, right? Read on.
In the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory,
right,
ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel.
Now, regeneration is not reincarnation, right? Reincarnation is an ideology put out, right, by a nation of people pretty much saying that you can come back on the earth as a man and then you come back as a plant, right, or an animal or something like of that effect. But that's not in the Bible, right? Regeneration is the Bible. So through the Spirit, we're going to break down what regeneration is. A lot of people don't understand regeneration. They don't know it's in the Bible, or they kind of skip over that verse, right? But the Lord himself said that those of you that have followed me in the regeneration, you're going to sit among the 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of the children of Israel, right? So let's kick it off with Ecclesiastes chapter 1.
I got a quick precept going on what you was talking about. People were talking about reincarnation. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 29. Lo, this only have I found, that God hath made man upright, but they have sought out many inventions.
That's right. Right. Because a lot of people like to, they may go to a verse in the Bible and they may want to break it down with their own understanding, right? Those things are philosophies created by men without proper sound doctrine, right? So today in these last days, we got to break down the scriptures as the Lord commanded us to give our people the proper sense thereof, right? So let's kick it off with Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and start at verse 4.
Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 4. One generation passeth away.
You got to read up.
One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh. But the earth abideth forever.
But the what?
But the earth abideth forever.
The Lord said, one generation passes away and another generation is going to always come, but the earth abideth forever. Meaning what? The Lord is not going to destroy the entire earth. Like you have these so-called scientists, they'll say that, the sun is going to burn up, right? And it's going to destroy the entire earth, or a meteor or a meteorite is going to come and hit planet Earth and it's going to wipe out all of mankind, right? Well, the Lord said otherwise. The Lord said the earth is always going to abide forever, right? There's always going to be life on the earth, right? Give me the book of Psalms chapter 115 and verse 16. Right, Psalms 115 and verse 16.
The book of Psalms chapter 115, verse 16. It reads, even the heavens are the Lord's, but the earth hath he given to the children of men.
Right, to the children of men. The Lord said even the heavens, right? But the earth he gave to the children of men. Meaning what? This earth belongs to you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans. You have a lot of people now, they're trying to get into real estate, right? They don't own any land. Why don't you own any land? It's because your land was taken away from you, right? By sorcery, by trickery, and witchcraft, right? Who took away your land? Your chief number one enemy. The Lord gave you the land, right? Give me the book of Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 7, right? The brothers beside me, so that the video can be clear, right? Isaiah 1 and 7.
The book of Isaiah chapter 1 verse 7. Your country is desolate. Your cities are burned with fire.
Right.
Your land, strangers devour it.
Your land, what?
Your land, strangers devour it.
A lot of so-called Black people don't understand that this land belongs to you. It was given to you by God, right? Not by some mandate or some sheet of paper that says, well, this was given to you, and set up these rules and regulations. No, God gave you this land for you to inhabit and for you to inherit and for you to rule over. But guess what? You sinned against the Most High, so the Lord gave your land to strangers, right? Strangers are anybody outside of the nation of Israel, right? Read that again, Baba Shah.
The book of Isaiah chapter 1 verse 7. Your country is desolate.
Right? Your country is desolate.
Your cities are burned with fire.
Like Tulsa, Oklahoma, right? Like so-called Black Wall Street, right? Your city got burned down with fire. Anytime you try to level up in this society, you try to get financially literate, guess what happened? Your enemy came to burn it down, right? They took over your homes, burnt your home down, took you out of the home, burnt down your churches, right? These are things that happen in the earth. Why? Because you Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans, you didn't uphold your part of the contract, which was keeping the commandments. so that you can rule the earth in righteousness. But instead, you wanted to follow the other nations and be wicked. Therefore, the Lord set up the wicked seed to rule over you. Right? Read on.
Isaiah 1:7. Your country is desolate. Your cities are burned with fire. Your land, strangers devour it.
Right?
In your presence.
In your what?
Presence.
Right in your presence. They took it away right in front of your face. And you couldn't do anything about it. And that goes back to the curses in Deuteronomy 28, when the Lord told you that your fruit and your land and your possessions will be overthrown. Right? Real quick, give me that in Sirach chapter 23, where it says, if a man keep not his house shall be overthrown. Real quick. Sirach, I'm going to find it. It's the book of Sirach, chapter. If a brother could find it for me, it says, "Soon your house shall be overthrown." It might be 19.
Sirach 27:3.
Yeah, bring it up. Sirach chapter 27, verse 3. Well, we get that first.
Sirach chapter 27, verse 3.
Right, this is what the Lord said.
Unless a man hold himself diligently,
right,
in the fear of the Lord.
Now, the fear of the Lord is keeping the commandments. Right, the Lord gave so-called black men, Hispanic, and Native American men, right, a contract. That contract with the law, statutes, and commandments. In this contract, the Lord gave you all manner of wisdom, knowledge, understanding, gold, wealth, rubies. Right. Now, if you uphold this contract, guess what you get? Right, you get everything, right? The land, the earth, right? Rulership, dominion, and power, right? But if you take this contract and you disannul it and you do away with it, right, what's going to happen?
His house shall soon be overthrown.
His whole house is going to soon be overthrown. Why do you think our people are, they're all on crack cocaine, right? They're all on all type of methamphetamines, right? They're on all type of pills, right? Oxycontin and
Molly's.
Yeah, Molly's, right? All of these pills, man, this weed spirit that's going on, they're out of their mind. They can't think straight, right? Even our people that's indoctrinated with religion and stuff, man, that's a drug, man, right? We saying the truth that Christianity is worse than crack cocaine, right? Because we can literally go to the book of Revelations, chapter 1 and verse 14, and tell you that the Lord is a so-called black man, and you'll reject it, right? Because you've been indoctrinated so long, you can't let go of sweet Jesus. You can't let go of the things that you were taught in Babylon the Great, right? So unless you hold yourself diligently in the fear of the Most High, your house is going to be overthrown, right? And that's what happened to our people, right? So go back to the book of Isaiah 1:7. We're going to finish that.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 1, verse 7.
Right.
And it reads, your country is desolate. Your cities are burned with fire.
Right.
Your land, strangers devour it in your presence.
In your presence. Right. Go back to Psalms chapter 115 and verse 16. Right. Because the land belongs to you. Real quick, get 2nd Ezra chapter 6. And verse, let's start at verse 54. 2nd Ezra 6 and 54. Right. Somebody said, yes, we said that Christianity is worse than crack cocaine. Right. Christianity is literally worse than crack. A lot of our people may think, well, crack, that damaged the black community, that did us bad in our community. We were strung out there. But guess what? Christianity, our people been strung out on that, man, for over 400 years, man.
Right.
That's right.
Right. We didn't know anything about white Jesus before we came over here, man. Right? We knew that our Lord and Savior was a so-called black man named Yahushua Hamashiach. We knew that we were the Israelites, man.
Right.
Right? We knew that we were God's chosen people. Right? We knew that, man. But guess what? When we came over here, we was raped, robbed, and murdered, man. And if you didn't proclaim yourself to be a Christian, and you told them that you was an Israelite, guess what they did? They burned you alive.
That's a
right? Too. Yeah, they castrated you, man, in front of your family. So guess what you did? You said, well, I'm going to be a good old Christian boy, right? I'm going to believe in white Jesus, and I'm not going to keep no commandments. They made you shave your beard off, right? They open up your mouth all wide and looked all in your mouth, right? Grab you all by your genitals, right? These are the things that happen, man. And guess what? Our people, they don't like to tell the truth, but the Lord said the truth is gonna make you free. You got that account?
I got one of them that is good that I'm gonna bring out.
Get what I call Psalms. And I want second Esdras. You got Psalms?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna get that after second Esdras. Second Esdras 6 and 54.
This book of Second Esdras, chapter 6, and verse
I
54.
might have to scoot over a little bit closer to Brother Doc. Kind of bring it out.
It says, Second Esdras 6 and 54.
Right?
And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen.
Right? Everybody on the earth knows that God has a chosen people besides God's chosen people.
I got it.
Right? Everybody understands this, man. Right? The people in the other nations, right? They know that we're the chosen people. They know that they carried the Israelites over to Babylon the Great to rape, rob, and murder them. Right? Read on.
All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord,
Read.
because thou madest the world for our sake.
God said that the world was created for you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans. Everything that you see on the earth, man, was literally created for your sake, for you to rule the earth in righteousness. Right? Read.
As for the other people,
Right?
which also come of Adam,
Anybody that comes out of Adam that's not an Israelite, right? Read.
thou hast said that they are nothing.
They're not supposed to be in ownership and rulership over the earth, right? It belongs to you, right? But you want to be a nigger man and a nigger woman and not abide by any of the other commandments that the Lord gave you. Read on.
But be like unto spittle,
Right?
and has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel.
Right? And you can read the same thing in Isaiah, the 40th chapter, from verse 16 on down. The Lord said that the nations are as a drop of a bucket, meaning the Lord only loves the Israelites, and he never changed that. Right? Read on.
And now, O Lord, behold, these heathen,
The Lord said, and now, O Lord, behold, these heathen, right? Read.
which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us,
Right?
and to devour us.
And to what?
To devour us.
Read.
But we, thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands.
See that? Now they're in rulership over you. Right? Now, O Lord, these heathen began to be lords over us. Right? So you got to get it together, Black, Hispanic, and Native American. Right? What else did I call?
I got that.
All right, bring that account out. Bring it out.
It's the book of Second Maccabees, chapter 6, verse 6. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
Now, a lot of people don't understand that when you go to the so-called New Testament, right, you're reading about people when the Romans are in rulership. Now, it tells you while the Romans are in rulership, it talks about the Greeks. There's neither Jew nor Greek. The reason why it's saying Greeks is because the Greeks were in rulership, right, before the Romans. And you only can read about that in the Apocrypha, right? The Apocrypha was in the Bible, right, in the 1611 KJV, right? After you read the book of Malachi, there's 400 years of missing history, right, that they took out of the Bible so that you won't be able to understand end-time prophecy, right? The Protestant church or the so-called Catholics, the so-called white man took it out of the Bible on purpose, right? So this is the account to why you read about Greeks in the so-called New Testament, right? Read that again.
It's the book of Second Maccabees, chapter 6, verse 6. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
Right?
And in the day of the king's birth, every month they were brought by bitter constraint.
Right? Every month they were bought by bitter constraint, right? Under their will, meaning they had to do this. Read.
To eat the sacrifices. And when the feast of Bacchus was kept,
right,
the Jews were compelled to go in possession to Bacchus carrying ivy.
See that? It was so like you would have in America, you would have a so-called parade, right? They made the Jews partake in their customs, and they made them do the customs that they would have them to do, right? Sort of like how they had us over here, they display us in museums and etc. It's nothing new, right? They did that in the ancient world and they do it now, right? That's all you see, a bunch of Negroes running around the arena, right? Dribbling the ball, running up and down the field, hitting each other, being entertainers for their oppressor, right? This is in the scriptures, right? Read on.
Moreover, there went out a decree to the neighborhood cities
Right?
of the heathen
Read on.
by the suggestion of
Ptolemy.
Ptolemy,
Right? There was a suggestion by Ptolemy, read,
against the Jews
against the Jews,
that they should observe the same fashions and be partakers of their sacrifices.
so they said, listen, we can't let these black men, Hispanic and Native Americans, we can't let them profess that they're the Israelites. We can't let them profess that they're God's chosen people, right? Let's make a law and let's put out this decree to make them be partakers of our customs. Read.
Verse 9, and whoso would not conform themselves to the manners of the Gentiles.
So they said, listen, man, if any black, Hispanic, or Native Americans say that they don't want to get down with what we enforcing, what's going to happen?
Should be put to death.
Should be what?
Put to death.
They said, listen, if they want to call themselves Israelites and they want to be holy and kings and priests, we got to kill them. And that's what happened, right? This is why you get your Christianity. This is why you get our people indoctrinated with philosophy and vain deceit. Hey, this is why you get your people not even believing in the Bible anymore,
Right.
right? This is why you get your people looking at us as if we're bringing out, just something that's out of the world. Hey, we're not doing nothing but reading the Bible, man.
Hate speech.
Right? Read on.
Then might a man have seen the present misery.
Right? That's it on that. Right? Bring it out.
First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 13. Then certain of the people so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen.
Right?
Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem,
Right?
according to the customs of the heathen.
See that? They built places to work out, man. Brothers got that workout spirit, man. All day. They can't stop working out, right? Working out butt naked. And the word gymnasium goes to working out as you're naked, man.
Right.
That's why you get those ancient sculptures and statues with these these Edomites butt naked, man.
Okay.
Right? All with their stuff fall out. Where does that come from? The so-called white man.
Right.
And if you read above in that chapter, it says evils were multiplied in the earth when the so-called white man came into power.
Okay.
Right.
Right? So let's go back to Ecclesiastes, right? Chapter 1 and verse 4. Right? Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 4.
Try that Isaiah.
A brother that's right here, so good kind of.
It's the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 4. One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh. But the earth abideth forever.
But the what?
But the earth abideth forever.
Right, like it tells you in Psalms 115 and verse 16, right? The earth is always going to be here, right? Although the Lord is going to destroy America and wipe this place off of the face of the earth, right? The earth is always going to be here, right? America, it's set up for destruction, man, right? It's literally set up for destruction. All of the rape, robbery, and murder that they did to God's chosen people, you think that this place is going to last? With all of the homosexuality, right? Transgenderism, right? Faggotry, right? You think that the Lord is going to keep this place standing? No, man. This place is bound for destruction, right? And it's never going to be inhabited by any man, right? Real quick, get Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 19, right? Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 19.
Look at
Right.
Isaiah
13, 19.
Time.
Book of Isaiah chapter 13, verse 19. And it reads, and Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees,
Right?
excellency, shall be as when Yahweh overthrows Sodom and Gomorrah.
Now the Lord overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah for all its homosexuality. Now look at America, right? It condones homosexuality. it condones pedestry, man. Right? That's madness. It condones bestiality. Now, Babylon is the biblical name for America, right? So the Lord said, as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Read on.
It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generations to generation.
So as the Lord said, one generation goes and another generation comes, it's going to be a generation that comes on the earth that's never going to inhabit America. God just said it in the Bible, right? You're not going to be, America's days are numbered, right? They may think that America may be great again, and they're going to put the Israelites in slavery, right? And they're going to have the days of the 40s, that spirit, where they ride around with the milkman comes and delivers his milk. Hey, those days are over. Those days are done. Those days of you Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans being oppressed, right? Having to work 17-hour shifts, man, right? Being in slavery, those days are numbered and they're coming to an end, right? Thus saith the Lord, man. Right? Read on.
Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there,
Right?
neither shall the shepherds make their fold there.
Right? Because the Lord is going to utterly destroy this place, right? Now, let's go back to Ecclesiastes, right? Chapter 1 and verse 4, right?
Let's look at Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 4.
Right there, because the point is, as the Lord did Sodom and Gomorrah, that's the same way he's going to do America. As the Lord did Egypt, that's the same way he's going to do America, right? There's a pattern there, right? The Lord don't change, right? So bring that out.
The book of Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 4. One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever.
Right?
The sun also riseth, and the sun goeth down, and hasted to his place,
Right?
where he arose.
Now, the Lord said the sun goes and it comes, right? The sun has a cycle, man, right? Everything has a cycle, right? The earth has a cycle, right? And Solomon, your forefather, right? He dwelt in a lot of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and he understood these things, right? Real quick, get First Esdras, right? First Esdras, chapter 4 and verse 34, right? The Most High gave Solomon knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to understand times and to understand the elements and how life worked. Right now, you got so-called black men, they want to understand how the PlayStation works, right? They want to understand, how can I kind of get my body to do this? And, I want to be a bodybuilder, right? They're trying to understand how to get their MacBook to work, right? Hey, you thinking on a small level, man, right? Our forefathers prayed to the Most High to understand how the elements of life work, man. And guess what? The Lord granted them that prayer, man. And we understood these things. We understood how to be kings and priests on the earth, man. Right? Now Jake want to how do I run a club? Right? I that party promoter spirit, man. Right? I got to get 100 people to do this, and I got to pass out these flyers. And hey, man, right? Stop thinking like that, man. Right? Get out of that Negro man mindset, man. Right? Start thinking about how to be a king and a priest on the earth. Right? Bring it out, King.
First Esdras chapter 4 and verse 34. O ye men, are not women strong? Great is the earth, high is the heaven, swift is the sun in his course.
The Lord said, swift is the sun in his course. So the sun has a course that it follows, right? Read.
For he compasseth the heavens round about, and fetcheth his course again to his own place in one day.
So the Lord said the sun, it compasses the heavens round about, right? Talking about what? You have the heavens where we dwell, the heavens in the sky, you understand? And it has its cycle in the way that it goes, right? Read that last verse one more time.
And fetcheth his course again to his own place in one day.
Start up or read the verse one more time.
For he compasseth the heavens round about, and fetcheth his course again.
Again, the Lord said it does it again, meaning it's on a cycle, right? Read.
To his own place in one day.
To his own place in one day, right? So that sun that you see, You understand? Somebody saw that sun before you did, right? The shape that it's in, right? You got another brother that's on the other side of the earth, right? He seen it, man. Right? He woke up and he did his prayers and he prayed. You understand? He walked outside, got some fresh air. He seen that sun, right? He went back in the house. He did his thing. He did his regular routine. Now it's your turn to see what he saw, right? And it's in a cycle, man, right? The Lord has a cycle. It's called the cycle of life, man, right? And everything's on a cycle. Everything's on a timetable of the Most High, right? Get Wisdom of Solomon chapter 7 and verse 17, right? Wisdom of Solomon chapter 7, verse 17.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 17. For he hath given me certain knowledge,
right,
of the things that are, namely, to know how the world was made.
Now, Solomon prayed to the Most High for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and the Lord gave it to him. Real quick, let me see if I can find that account real quick in the book of First Kings, where Solomon prayed to the Most High. I think it's First Kings chapter 2, 2 and 9, right? First Kings chapter 3 and verse 9.
3 and 9.
Kind. First Kings chapter 3 and verse 9.
First
Right.
Kings chapter 3 and verse 9.
Right?
Give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people, that I may discern between good and bad.
Now, this is Solomon, right? The king, he said, Lord, can you give me can you give your servant an understanding heart to judge the people? Right? Solomon didn't ask for, Jake, they prayed to the Most High, well, Lord, I want the Hellcat,
Right.
or I want I want the Lambo, right? Or I want 1 billion women, right? I want them to obey me at my will and bow down to my feet, or I want 1,000 men with me to obey at my command, right? And they call me king. Hey, get out of that mindset, man. Right? Humble your spirit and pray to the Lord for things that are profitable, right? Read that again, King.
First Kings chapter 3 and verse 9. Give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people, that I may discern between good and bad. For who is able to judge this thy so great people?
Right?
And the speech pleased the Lord.
And what he asked from the Lord, it pleased the Lord, because he didn't come to him like a nigga man. Right? He came to the Most High humble, man. Right? And asked for things that a lot of people wouldn't ask for. Right? Which was knowledge and wisdom. Read.
That Solomon had asked this thing. And the Most High said unto him, because thou hast asked this thing, and hast not asked for thyself long life, neither hast asked riches for thyself, nor hast asked the life of thine enemies, but hast asked for thyself understanding to discern judgment. Behold, I have done according to thy word.
I have what?
I have done according to thy word.
So what you ask for from the Lord, man, the Lord can do it, man. Right? You come to the Most High with a righteous spirit, and you come to him correct, guess what? The Most High will grant you that, man. Right? So go back to the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7 and verse 17.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 17. For he hath given me certain knowledge of the things that are,
right?
Namely, to know how the world was made and the operation of the elements.
See that? So Solomon knew how the earth was made, man. Right? Meaning he knew about the different atoms and molecules and the different elements and the different iron that's in the ground. He knew how the Lord created these things, right? Why? Because he prayed to the Most High for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, right? All of our forefathers, they knew about things that we're not able to calculate now because we've been indoctrinated with so much folly, right? Real quick, get First Chronicles, right, about the Northern Kingdom. All right, First Chronicles chapter 16. So like your First Chronicles chapter 12 and verse 32.
First Chronicles chapter 12 and verse 32. And the children of Issachar,
right? The children of who?
Issachar,
Now, this is the northern kingdom, your so-called Hispanics, right? Your brothers, man, right? Read.
which were men that had understanding of the times, to know what Israel ought to do.
See that? The Lord gave them knowledge and wisdom and understanding so that they can know different times, right? What we ought to do, right? Meaning when we would go to war, right? Issachar, they'll step up and they say, listen, we kind of got to do it like this. The Most High working on our spirit. This is where we got to go, right? That's why Northern Kingdom, man, they're mighty in battle and in war, right? It tell you that they knew how to fight with different buckler and shield, right? They knew these things. So we need not just the Jews only, but we need all 12 tribes, man, to go to war. We need our brothers, man, right? We need all 12 tribes of Israel to get out of this thing. So you Negro only brothers, hey, y'all got to repent, man. Right? Read that one more time, King.
First Chronicles chapter 12 and verse 32. And the children of Issachar, which were men that had understanding of the times, to know what Israel ought to do.
Right?
The heads of them were 200, and all their brethren were at their command.
Right? So you got to have discernment in this thing. You got to have discernment in the truth. Right? Brothers should be praying for discernment. Right? That's a heavy lot to have, man. Right. Discernment, because a lot of brothers lack discernment. Right? It tell you that in Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 1. Right? We ain't got to get it though. All right, so let's go back to Ecclesiastes chapter 1.
But Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 6.
Start at where you left off. Start at
5.
Kind.
But Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 5. The sun also ariseth, and the sun goeth down, and hasted to his place where he arose.
Right.
The wind goeth towards the south.
The what?
The wind goeth towards the south.
Read on.
And turn it about unto the north.
Right.
It whirled about continually, and the wind would turn it again according to his circuit. So
the Lord said, even the wind has a cycle that it goes through, man. Right? We read about the sun cycle and how the sun sets, right, from here to there. Now the Lord said that the wind does the same thing. Right? Real quick, go to the book of Acts, chapter 27 and verse 13. Right? Acts 27 and 13. When you get a breeze from the wind, you say, well, that was a good breeze. Guess what? Hey, your brother got that breeze. Like, hey, Edomite got that breeze, man. Right? The Lord sent that breeze, right, from the foundation of the world to do what? To be profitable for the earth. Right? So Acts chapter 17 and verse 13. 27 and 13. So like
Book of Acts, chapter 27, verse 13. And when the south wind blew softly, supposing that they had obtained their purpose, loosing thence, they sailed close by Crete.
See that? So the Lord has a wind cycle, right? Starting from one point, ending to another point, and then it does it all over again, right? So let's go back to Ecclesiastes.
Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 5. The sun also ariseth, and the sun goeth down, and hasted to his place where he arose. The wind goeth toward the south, and turned about unto the north. It whirled about continually, and the wind would turn it again according to his circuits.
Right.
All the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full, unto the place from whence the rivers come. Thither they return again.
Thither they return again. So the Lord said the rivers, aka the waters, they return again. Right? Everybody knows about the water cycle, right? How it evaporates and condenses, and then it goes up and then it comes back down from the clouds. Right? And they get that from the scriptures.
Right.
Right? Esau, the Edomites, those scientists, they didn't go and say, well, let's figure out they got it from the Bible. Right? And then they did their so-called scientific methods. Right? Read that one more time, Ken.
Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 7. All the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full.
Right?
Unto the place from whence the rivers come. Thither they return again.
Thither they return again. Right? And the Bible tells you everything. Go to Psalm chapter 137. Right? Psalms 135, Salakia, and verse 7.
Psalm 135 and verse 7. reads, He causeth the vapor to ascend from the ends of the earth.
Right?
He maketh lightnings.
He
for the
maketh
rain.
what?
He maketh lightnings for the rain.
See that? Your vapors is your water. Right? That's what it means. Right? Read that again.
He causeth the vapors to ascend from the ends of the earth.
Right?
He maketh lightnings for the rain. He bringeth the wind out of his treasuries.
And then he bringeth the wind out of his treasures, because the wind needs the waters, and the waters needs the wind. Right? Everything is in a cycle, and the Lord has this thing, right, created in a system to where you can't change it. Right? All of this thing, everything is in a cycle. Right? Get another one on the waters. Jeremiah chapter 10. Jeremiah chapter 10 and verse 13.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 10 and verse 13. When he
Okay.
uttereth his voice, there is a multitude of waters in the heavens.
Right?
And he causeth the vapors to ascend from the ends
And
of
he
the
calls
earth.
it what?
He causeth the vapors to ascend from the ends of the earth.
The Most High said, when he uttereth his voice, he causeth the vapors to ascend from the end of the earth. Like in Genesis, when the Lord said that he was going to flood the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. Right? The Lord said he opened up the heavens and the waters came down. Right? So there's waters even between the waters.
Right.
Right? And that only happens when the Lord uttereth his voice. Right? Read that again.
When he uttereth his voice, there is a multitude of waters in the heavens. And he causeth the vapors to ascend from the ends of the earth.
Right?
He maketh lightnings with rain, and bringeth forth the wind out of his treasures.
See that? The lightning and the rain bring forth the winds for the Most High God's treasures. Right? Get the book of Job, right? Chapter 36. Right? In verse 27. Right? Job 36 and 27.
The book of Job, chapter 36, verse 27. For he maketh small the drops of water. They pour down rain according to the vapor thereof.
Right?
When the clouds do drop and distill upon man abundantly, also can any understand the spreadings.
See that? So the Lord has this thing. Read that one more time, King.
Book of Job, chapter 36, verse 27. For he maketh small the drops of water. They pour down rain according to the vapor thereof.
Right? They pour down rain according to the vapor thereof. Right? According to how much the Most High God wants it to rain. That's why you see certain clouds, right? If you have a drone and it goes over this so-called sky, you'll see certain clouds. It'll have water coming down here, and there's not going to be any water here, right? You have certain clouds here, right? It may be pouring down a small proportion of rain here, but it might be a thicker proportion of rain here, right? That's all according to the will of the Most High, right? Read that again.
Job chapter 36, verse 27. For he maketh small the drops of water, they pour down rain according to the vapor thereof, which the clouds do drop and distill upon man abundantly.
Right?
Also can any understand the spreadings of the clouds.
Right? That's it on that. Right? Give me the book of Job 37 and 11.
Book of Job, chapter 37, verse 11.
Right?
Also by watering.
Start at verse 10, Shalaki.
Starting at verse 10. Book of Job, chapter 37, verse 10.
Right?
By the breath of Yahweh, frost is given, and the breath of the waters is straightened.
Right?
Verse 11. Also by watering, he weareth the thick cloud.
Right?
He scattered his bright cloud.
Right?
And it is turned round about.
And it is turned round about. Right? Like the so-called weatherman of the forecast, they'll say, well, it's going to be raining on this side of town. Right? But the other side of town, they may not receive any rain, man. Right? Because the Lord has these clouds set up, right, to do the will of the Most High, which is to purify and replenish the earth in the order that the Most High wanted to. Right? Jump to verse 16.
Jump to verse 16. Dost thou know the balancing of the clouds?
Right? Don't you know the balancing of the clouds? Right?
the wondrous works of him which is perfect in knowledge.
Right?
How
Is that it on that? So
You can read that.
yeah, keep reading the verse
17.
Con.
how thy garments are warm when he quieteth the earth by the south wind.
Right? Keep reading
18.
the verse. Con, yeah, read verse 18.
Hast thou with him spread out the sky,
Right?
which is strong, and as a molten looking glass.
And as a molting looking glass. Right? That's how the Most High God has this thing set up. That's why you read about the heavens, the Most High creating the heavens, because you have a molting looking glass, and the Most High God is above the heavens, right? And he can open up the firmament and bring forth water into the heavens, right? So let's go back to Ecclesiastes, right? So you got the sun cycle, you got the wind cycle, you got the water cycle, right? All of these things are done by the Most High, and it's on the Lord's timing, man. Right? So Ecclesiastes chapter 1, where you left off.
Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 6. The wind goeth toward the south, and toward about into the north. It whirleth about continually, and the wind returneth again according to his circuits. Verse 7. All the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full. Unto the place from whence the rivers come, thither they return again. All things are full of labor. Man cannot utter it.
Right?
The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing.
Right? All things are at labor, meaning the everything that you see, the earth, right? The animals, everything is at labor, right? That's why the Most High said, praise you, let all things praise you the Lord. Because you see the trees moving, right? They're worshiping, right? They're moving and they're worshiping in the rhythm of the Most High, right? You see the animals, they're doing their thing. You see the ants, man, they're being prosperous, right? Then the Lord tell you in Proverbs chapter 6 to look at the ant and see how they work, and that's how man should be, right? To not be sluggish, because all things are at labor, right? You're never not working, right? Man may say, well, I'm off today. I got 2 days. I took 2 days off vacation, but guess what? You're still at work, right? Your body is at work, right? Your blood is still moving, right? Your heartbeat, right? Everything's at work, right? Different molecules and iron and such is in your body. It's at work. You never stop working, right? Read on.
Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 9. The thing that had been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done, it is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun.
Right? The Lord said there's no new thing under the sun. Now, everybody and grandma know that verse, right? And they'll say, well, there's nothing new under the sun. You understand? That's why that hairstyle, we wearing a flat top. Hey, we was doing that. They just say we were doing that back in the day, baby. Ain't nothing new under the sun. Right? We started that. No, you didn't start it. Right? Hey, that's an old thing, man.
Right.
But guess what? This thing is specific in what it's talking about. Right? Read that again.
Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 9. The thing that had been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done, it is that which shall be done.
Right? What is this thing that it's talking about that it said, listen, this thing has been here already? Is it talking about the cement and the road and the highways? Right? Is it talking about the highways? Right? Is it talking about I live on 5th Street, and what we was doing on 5th Street, hey, we've been doing that. No, man. It's a specific thing in which it's talking about. Right? Go to Ecclesiastes chapter 6 and verse 10. Right, let's see what this thing is that the Lord said is, it has, Ecclesiastes chapter 6 and verse 10. Right, let's see what this thing is that the Lord said is not new. Right, it's not talking about a Gatorade bottle. Right, let's see what this thing is that the Lord said. Right, bring that out.
Book of Ecclesiastes chapter
6 and
6,
10.
verse 10.
Right,
that which have been is namely already.
The Lord said that thing is named already. Read.
And it is known that it is man.
That is what?
That it is man.
So that thing that have been here already, and that is no new thing under the sun, it's man, right? It's you, right? You may think that you're a mortal man and you never been on the earth before, or I'm kind of new here. This is my first time living.
Right.
No, right? You've been here before, right? There's a cycle of life, just like how the Lord sets the sun, right? And it goes in a cycle, right? From the south to the north, right? Just like the wind blows, right? All these things are done in a cycle. And that thing that is nothing new under the sun, that's talking about you, right? Read that one more time.
Ecclesiastes Chapter 6, verse 10.
Right?
That which have been is named already,
Right?
and it is known that it is man.
That it is man. Right? Give me the book of John, chapter 9 and verse 1. Right? Because a lot of people may say, well, I kind of can't, I don't believe that, and I don't know what's going on, and is that witchcraft? And well, how could I have been here already? Right? Hey, guess what? You was here already, man. Right? So bring it out. John chapter 9 and verse 1.
The book of John, chapter 9, starting at verse 1. And as Jesus passed by, he saw a man which was blind from his birth. And his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin?
Who did what?
Who did sin?
Right?
This man or his parents?
So these people came and asked the Lord. They said, hey, this man is blind. Right? He's a child. Right? He was blind at birth. They said, who sinned? Right? Who sinned? Was it this man? Right? How could he have sinned, right, when he was born blind? Did he sin in his mother's womb? Was he kicking her in the belly? And that was a sin. And the Lord said, well, he's kicking his mom in the belly. He's been a bad boy. Right? Is that what it's talking about? You're gonna find out that's not what it's talking about.
Right?
Right? That man has been on the earth before. Right? Read that again.
The book of John, chapter 9, verse 2. And his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin, this man or his parents, that he was born blind?
Right?
Jesus answered, neither had this man sinned nor his parents.
Right?
But that the works of God should be made manifest in him.
Now, the Lord said, listen, he didn't sin nor his parents, right? But that the works of God may be manifest in him, meaning the Lord can judge you, but sometimes your judgment is not based upon the sins that you have done, right? The Lord may judge you and put you in a situation just so that you can believe on him, or just so that somebody else can believe and be converted to the truth. You may have been a prostitute, man, right? I'm talking about a full-blown whore. And guess what? You may come into the truth and repent. Right? And somebody may look, well, hold on now, that's a miracle. Right? She was kind of out there, man. She repented, and she looks like a daughter of Zion. And what's going on? Hey, that's a miracle, man. And that may convert somebody. They may look and say, wow, the Most High God is real, man. They changed that brother, right? Or, the Lord was out there healing people, man, right? They was blind and they may have had ailments and etc., right? So read that one more time from the top.
It's the book of John, chapter 9, verse 1.
Right.
And as Jesus, Yahweh Shah, passed by, he saw a man which was blind from his birth.
Right.
Verse 2, and his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin, this man or his parents?
Right. Was it this man or his parents? Because the Lord can judge you based upon the things that your parents have done. Right. Real quick, get that in the law in Exodus. All right. Get that in the law. Chapter Exodus, verse 20. Exodus chapter 20 and verse 5.
I got that in a precept. That too.
Exodus 20 and verse 5.
Chapter 20, verse 5. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord Yahweh, thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation.
The Lord said he visits the iniquity, right, upon the third and the fourth generation, right? Meaning what? What you may have done, right, that you was judged for, you can be judged for that thing again,
right?
Or what your fathers have done, you can inherit that sin and you may be judged for it, right? So, hey, you got to be careful on what you do, man, right? So you're not judged and then you go down to some place underground called hell. That's not in the Bible, man, right? Nowhere in Genesis, right, in the 7 days that the Lord did his creation, right? Did he create a place underground called hell? That's not there, right? Go to the book of Job, Job chapter 3 and start at verse 12, right? Job chapter 3 and verse 12.
Job chapter 3 and verse 12. Why did the knees prevent me? Or why the breast that I should suck? For now should I have lain still and been quiet. I should have slept. Then had I been at rest.
Right?
With kings and counselors of the earth, which built desolate places for themselves.
Right. So Job was going through it, right?
Mhm.
Job said, listen, Lord, I'm kind of going through it. What's going on, right? Read on.
Or with princes that had gold, who filled their houses with silver, or as a hidden untimely birth, I had not been, as infants which never saw light.
Right?
There the wicked ceased from troubling.
The Lord said, there, that place, right? There is a specific place, right? Just like example, if you would say, hey, brother, meet me over there, right? You got to be specific with what that there is. Brother say, well, where, brother? Why you got to say there? Why you got to say, meet me there at Walmart, right? Meet me there,
In a minute.
Yeah, right? You got to meet me at that specific place, man, right? Job said, there, the what?
The prisoners,
No, read it again.
There the wicked cease from troubling.
That there is talking about the spirit world. It's talking about the heavens where the Most High is. He said, there the wicked cease from trouble. Right? Read.
There, and there the weary be at rest.
The Lord said the wicked is there and the weary is there. The wicked cease from trouble and the weary cease from the things that they got to go through. Right? Read on.
There the prisoners rest together.
There the prisoners rest together.
They hear not the voice of the oppressor.
In that place, they don't hear the voice of the oppressor. Right? This place is talking about the spirit world. Whether you was righteous or wicked, your spirit goes back to the heavens, right? Where the Father is, right? That's the order of things. That's how the Most High God has this thing set up, right? Get Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 6, right?
Book of Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 6.
Kind.
And it reads, or ever the silver cord be loose, or the golden bowl be broken,
Right,
or the pitcher be broken at the fountain,
right,
or the wheel broken at the cistern.
right.
Verse 7, then shall the dust return to the earth.
The Lord said, when all of these things happen, right, whenever you go through hell and high water on the earth, right, when you're in this corruptible body, then shall the dust turn into the earth. The dust is talking about you, right, because your body was made out of the dirt and the dust of the ground. It says, then shall the dust return into the earth, right? When you die, your body returns back to the earth and where it belongs, where it decays, where it was created from, right? Read on.
As it was.
As it was, because you literally come from the soil of the earth. That's why you have different iron in your body, right? Where is iron found out? It's found in the earth, in the ground, right? You have oxygen in your body. You dig up in the earth, you're going to find oxygen, right? What else do you have in your body? Water, right? What's in the earth? Water, right? All the nitrogen, all of that is in your body. It comes from the earth because that's how the carbon dioxide, right? All of that is from the earth because that's how the Lord created you, right? Read.
And the spirit shall return unto Yahweh who gave it.
No, it's going to go to hell.
And the spirit shall return unto Yahweh who gave it.
The Lord said, your body returns to the earth and your spirit goes up to the Most High, whether you was righteous or wicked. There's no such thing called hell underground, right? This is called regeneration, where your spirit regenerates, right? On a cycle, right? Get the book of Hebrews chapter 9 and verse 27, right? Hebrews chapter 9 and verse 27.
It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 9, and verse 27. And as it is appointed unto men once to die, but after this, the judgment.
The Lord said, it's appointed unto man once to die. You don't have 9 lives or 7 lives, right? You die once on the earth, right? And then what happens, right? You go up to the spirit world and you receive your judgment, right? And what happens after that, right? Give me 2nd Esdras chapter 14 and verse 35, right? Once to die, and after this, you receive your judgment, right? 2nd Esdras chapter 14 and verse 35.
The book of 2nd Esdras chapter 14 and verse 35.
Right, 2nd Esdras 14 and 35.
2nd Esdras 14 and 35. For after death shall the judgment come.
The Lord said, after death, right, then you're going to get your judgment, right? Read on.
When we shall live again.
When we shall what?
We shall live again.
You're going to live again after you receive your judgment, right? When you die on your great-great-grandma, well, you say, well, you know, grandma, she done gone on home, you know. Hey, guess what? Your great-great-grandma could be on the earth, man, right? Because when you die on the earth, your body goes back to the soil where it belongs, because that's where it comes from. Your spirit goes up to the 3rd heaven, to the spirit world. You receive your judgment, and then what? You're going to live again. The Lord sends your spirit right back down to the earth. Right? You got some people say, well, you know, I got an old soul and I've been here before. And, you know, hey, you was here before.
That's right.
Right? Read that again, King.
2nd Esdras chapter 14 and verse 35. For after death shall the judgment come.
Right?
When we shall live again, and then shall the names of the righteous be manifest.
Then shall the names of the righteous be made manifest. Right? Because now you're living in the last generation, right? I'm going to be honest. This is the last generating spirits on this side, to where the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American man is not in rulership.
Right.
This is the last rulership of any heathen nation, right? Real quick, let's prove that in the book of Lamentations, right? The Lamentations chapter 4, right? Real quick, go to the book of Lamentations chapter 4 and verse 21. Right, Lamentations chapter 4 and verse 21.
The book of Lamentations chapter 4 and verse 21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz.
Read.
The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked.
Right, the daughter of Edom is the biblical name for the so-called white race. Right? Read on.
The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished.
Right? The punishment of their iniquity is accomplished. All of the raping, the lynching, the castration, the bombing of innocent nations, right? The enslavement of God's chosen people, the Israelites, right? All of the private islands with different sex changes and the catastrophic events and the planned pandemics, all of these things that the Edomites have done on the earth, it has reached the heavens. You can read about that in Revelation 18 on down. Right? Read.
O daughter of Zion, he will no more carry thee away into captivity.
Right? Read that and read up a little bit.
The punishment of thine the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity.
Right?
He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sin.
So the Lord said that the Israelites, their last slavery and captivity is when the Edomites are in rulership. Right? The Lord said because of unrighteous dealings, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. Get that in Sirach chapter 10 real quick. Right? Get that in Sirach chapter 10 and verse 8.
Sirach chapter 10 and verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
Meaning the so-called white man only got this land by rape, robbery, and murder, right? And he's going to lose this land because of the rape, robbery, and murder in which he did. and it's going to be translated back to the rightful owners who should be in rulership, which is the so-called black men, Hispanic and Native American men, the repentant ones, right? So go to the book of Sirach, chapter 14 and verse not 35 yet, 17. Sirach 14 and 17.
Book of Sirach. Oh, excuse me. Let me get there. 14:30.
14 and 17.
14 and 17.
Khan.
Okay. The book of Sirach, chapter 14, verse 17. And it reads, all flesh waxeth old as a garment, for the covenant from the beginning is, thou shalt die the death.
Right, read on.
As of the green leaves on a thick tree, some fall and some grow.
So the Lord said, as of some green trees, as of some green leaves on thick trees, some fall and some grow. Right, read on.
So is the generation of flesh and blood. One cometh to an end and another is born.
See that? So the trees that you see, right, and the leaves that fall and they go and they drop to the earth, right? Those leaves are new. It's in a cycle, right? There's no new leaves. There's no new trees. Why do you think you have seeds in your plants, right? Those seeds aren't new, right? When you eat some fruit, you take the seed, you put it back in the soil, and it grows over again, right? It's the same thing with people, man, right? Your spirit enters up into the third heaven, comes back on the earth. You're now born through a seed line, a lineage of men, right? That was formulated from the foundation of the world, right? There's nothing new under the sun, right? Read that again, King.
Yeah, that was
You started at
13.
17.
17.
Kind.
All flesh waxes old as a garment, for the covenant from the beginning is, though thou shalt die the death, as of the green leaves on a thick tree, some fall and some grow. So is the generation of flesh and blood. One cometh to an end and another is born.
And another is born, right? Go to Luke chapter 21 and verse 29, right? Luke chapter 21 and verse 29, right?
The book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 29.
Because you see generations of people, right? That's why, you got the 60s. They had their own thing. They had their own little spirit, with the 60s and the 70s. They had their own thing going on. In the 80s, it was a whole new wave of spirits that came in, right? You let baby say, well, I'm an 80s baby, I'm a 90s baby, right? They say, well, the 90s was the best, right? Hey, the 90s were filled with folly and madness, right? And then back in the 70s, you had a lot of our people that was woke, right? And that's kind of coming back again, man. But we getting there right now, right? Through the precepts, right? So bring that out.
The book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 29.
Right?
And he spake to them a parable. Behold, the fig tree and all the trees. Verse 30, when they now shoot forth, ye see and know of your own selves that summer is now nigh at hand.
Right?
So likewise ye, when ye see the things come to pass, know ye that the kingdom of God is not at hand.
So when you go outside and you don't got to wear a jacket anymore, you see that the weather is changing, right? You see that the leaves are growing on the trees. You know that summer is at hand, right? You know that you have to get prepared for the summer. Well, you got people say, well, I don't got no summer clothes. Winter just came and, I got to go get me some summer clothes. Hey, you should be preparing for the same way the kingdom of heaven, man. You should be seeing, right, that, it's snowing in Saudi Arabia, right? The camels are outside. They looking like, what the hell is going on? Right. It's snow out here, right? You should see all of the earthquakes that's taking place, right? You should see what's going on in Dallas, man, right? People outside, right, got their cars on trying to get warmed up, What's going on here? Right? Is this the Lord visiting the earth?
Right.
Or, is it just coincidence? It's just regular life. It kind of happens. Right? Hey, man, these are the signs of the times. Right? Read that again, King.
The book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 31.
Right?
So likewise, yea, when ye see these things come to pass, know ye that the kingdom of God is not at hand. Verse 32. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass away till all be fulfilled.
So the Lord 2,000 years ago said that the generation that he's speaking to, Peter, Paul, James, right, Nathaniel, all of these men, he said, listen, y'all are not going to pass away until all things be fulfilled. That generation of spirits, of people, they're back on the earth, right? If you believed on the Lord then and you touched his garment and you was healed and you wanted to see the Lord when he taught and you was righteous and you was meek and quiet, guess what? You're going to be righteous and meek and quiet in this time, right? If you was a scoffer then, if you didn't believe in the truth then, right? If you didn't believe on the Son of Man, you was one of those wicked elders, right? Guess what? You're going to be a wicked elder in this time.
That's right.
Right? If you was keeping the commandments, right? Keeping the feast days, you're going to be keeping them now, right? This generation, the Lord said, till all things be fulfilled, man. And that's what's happening right now. Right? You see the Israelites waking up, man. Right? Real quick, give me Hosea chapter 1 and verse 9. Right? What are the things that has to be fulfilled for this generation? Right? One of the main things is that the elect got to wake up, man. That's the main thing. The elect of the lost sheep of the house of Israel wake up from their Hellenized state of mind, right? Come out of the mindset of being oppressed and come out of the ways of the society and enter into the truth, right? Bring it out.
Hosea chapter 1 and verse 9. Then said God, call his name Lo-Ami, for ye are not my people, and I will not be your God.
Right? And that's what happened, man. Right? While we was out there getting our backs beaten in slavery, right? While we were out there, you understand, in those juke joints, right? They had the juke joint spirit back in the day, dancing and, shaking and, doing all of that, right? Drinking all day, drinking rum, right? Sitting on the porch, rocking in your rocking chair, right? Just letting time go by, playing checkers all day, man. Those days are done. Yeah, chewing tobacco, spitting it out, right? Your mouth all decayed up, right? You can't kiss no woman, right? Well, if you was kissing, hey, y'all both was wicked, man, right? Nasty, right? Hey, those days are done.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
Read on.
Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in a place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God.
So that same place where you was a nigga man and you didn't have no knowledge and no understanding, that same place, you're going to come back on the earth and you're going to bethink yourself and say, hold on, let me get it right. We the Israelites. Let me keep the commandments. In that same place, Babylon the Great, right? Give me Luke chapter 9 and verse 27. All right. Luke the 9th chapter and the 27th verse.
The book of Luke, chapter 9, verse 27. And it reads, but I tell you of a truth,
Right?
there be some standing here which shall not taste of death.
The Lord told that same generation, right? That same chosen generation of spirit, he said, this is the generation that shall never pass away until all be fulfilled. He said, some of you that standing here, you're never going to pass away. There be some standing here which shall never taste of death, man. Right? Meaning your spirit will never be destroyed. You're going to continue to be regenerated on the earth until all of these things fulfill. And you're going to see the coming of Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. And you're going to stand before the Son of Man. He's going to say, well done, my good and faithful servant. Right? And you're going to overcome Jacob's trouble and oppression, raping, robbery, and murder. Right? Those are the days that's coming. Right? Get Matthew, right? Chapter 26 and 26.
Matthew chapter 26 and verse 26. And as they were eating, Yahushua took bread and blessed it and brake it, and gave it to the disciples, and said, Take, eat, this is my body. And he took the cup and gave thanks, and gave it to them, saying, Drink ye all of it, for this is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many for the remission of sins.
Right?
But I say unto you, I will not drink henceforth of this fruit of the vine until the day, Salaki, until that day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom.
So how the Lord said, listen, it's going to become a time where we're going to drink again this same cup, right? And this new thing is going to be an old thing, but it's going to be new because they're going to be in a different situation. They're not going to be under subjection under the Romans, right? And the Romans are nothing but the Americans all over again, right? Read that one more time. Verse 29.
Verse 29. But I say unto you, I will not drink henceforth of this fruit of the vine until that day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom.
He said, listen, we're going to drink again new in our Father's kingdom, right? They're going to be singing a new song, man, good hymns, right? Where at? In our Father's kingdom.
That's right.
Right? What is that new song that we're going to be singing, man? We're going to have new spirits, right? There's a new thing that's coming to the earth, which is where we're going to be in rulership, right? Get the book of Matthew chapter 23 and verse 34.
The book of Matthew chapter 23 and verse 34. Wherefore, behold, I send unto you prophets and wise men and scribes, and some of them ye shall kill and crucify.
Right?
And some of them shall ye scourge in your synagogues and persecute them from city to city.
Right?
That upon you may come all the righteous blood.
The Lord said, upon you shall come all of the righteous blood. Read.
Shed upon the earth, from the blood of righteous Abel unto the blood of Zacharias.
The Lord said, the blood of the righteous Abel, right? That's going to fall upon this generation. What does that mean? Right? Get Genesis chapter 4, right? In verse 15.
Genesis chapter 4 and verse 15.
And the Lord, the book of Genesis chapter 4, verse 15. And the Lord Yahweh said unto him, therefore, whosoever slayed Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold.
The Lord said the blood of the righteous Abel is going to be taken on this generation, right? Now, read that one more time.
The book of Genesis chapter 4, verse 15. And the Lord Yahweh said unto him, therefore, whosoever slayed Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold.
Right? Go to Psalms chapter 79 and 12. Right? Now, Cain came back on the earth. Right? He didn't come back as Cain. Right? Cain came back on the earth as Esau, the Edomites. Right? Read, bring that out. Who got that?
Psalm 79 and verse 12. And render unto our neighbors sevenfold into their bosom their reproach.
Right?
Wherewith they have reproached thee, O Lord.
Now that's talking about the Edomites, right? Sevenfold is what they're going to get their judgment, right? That's how the Lord is going to judge them, right? Get the book of 1 John chapter 3 and verse 12, right? That mark that Cain has, that was passed down to Esau, right? That mark that Cain has was passed down to Esau. That's why you see nobody, the only nation of people on the earth today that doesn't have a melanin is the so-called white man, right? Because he had that mark passed down through him by his forefather Cain, right? So bring it out. Got it? 1 John chapter 3 and verse 12.
The book of 1 John chapter 3 and verse 12. Not as Cain, who was of that wicked one, and slew his brother. And wherefore slew he him? because his own works were evil,
right?
and his brothers righteous.
And his brothers righteous, talking about Abel. Now the Lord said that those men that killed Abel, they're gonna have to pay for that in this generation. Who is that talking about? It's talking about the Edomites, right? That's why no other nation of people in the Bible has the judgment as the Edomites, right? You can read that in Obadiah chapter 1. You can read that in Ezekiel chapter 25, chapter 35, right? Revelation chapter 13 and verse 14, right? Read.
Marvel not, my brethren, if the world hates you. We know that we have passed from death unto life,
Right?
because we love the brethren. He that loveth not his brother abideth in death.
See that? Because Cain didn't love his brother, right? Cain slew Abel, man, right? And what did the Edomites do to us? What does Esau do to Jacob, right? He kill him, man,
Right.
and he doesn't care. And they do it to this very day. That's why that's going to be brought forth on this generation. The righteous blood of Abel is going to be brought forth on this generation because they haven't repented and they never will, right? You got that, John?
The book of John, chapter 8, verse 44.
Right?
Ye are your father, the devil,
Right?
and the lust of your father ye will do. For he was a murderer from the beginning, and bold not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar, and the father of it.
Right now,
Yes.
the Lord is speaking in a dark saying because he's speaking to the Edomites, right? But he's speaking to an entire nation of people, right? Give me the book of Psalms, chapter 50 and verse 19.
The book of Psalms. The book of Psalms, chapter 50, verse 19. Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit.
Read.
Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother. Thou slanderest thine own mother's son.
Right?
These things hast thou done, and I kept silence. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such and one as thyself, but I will reprove thee and set them in order before thine eyes.
See that? The Lord said he's going to set the Edomites in order before thine eyes, and that's going to fall upon this generation that you're living in, right? You're no longer going to see the Edomites in rulership, but the Lord is going to set them in order by the hand of his people Israel, right? So give me the book of 2 Ezra chapter 14 and verse 34, right? Still tackling regeneration. We're going to get some more examples of that, right? 2 Ezra chapter 14 and verse 34.
2 Ezra, chapter 14 and verse 34. Therefore, if so be that ye will subdue your own understanding and reform your hearts, ye shall be kept alive, and after death ye shall obtain mercy. For after death shall the judgment come.
The Lord said, after death shall the judgment come. Read.
When we shall live again.
When we shall live again. Right? Read on.
And then shall the names of the righteous be manifest.
Right?
And the works of the ungodly shall be declared.
Right? Get Matthew 22 and 28. Right? Matthew chapter 22 and verse 28. Right?
Book of Matthew, chapter 22 and verse 28.
Come.
And it reads, therefore in the resurrection, whose wife shall she be of the seven? For they all had her.
The Lord said, listen, these men try to come up to confound the Lord. They said, listen, whose wife shall she be in the resurrection? Meaning when she comes back on the earth, right? Regeneration is all throughout the scriptures, right? So give me the book of Matthew chapter 16 and verse 13.
16:13. Book of Matthew, chapter 16, verse 13.
Con.
When Yahushua, says Jesus, came into the coast of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, saying, whom do men say that I, the Son of Man, am?
Right?
14. And they said, some say that thou art John the Baptist.
So he said, listen, who do you say that I am? All right. They said that some say John the Baptist. Right? Read on.
Some Elias.
Some Elias. Right? Read.
And others Jeremiah.
And he said, others say that you're Jeremiah. How can he be Elijah and Jeremiah, right, when those men are not on the earth at the time? Right? How could he be that? Because they knew about regeneration. Right? Read on.
And or one of the prophets.
Right?
Continue.
Con.
Verse 15. He said unto them, but whom say ye that I am?
He said, who do you say that I am? Right? Read.
And Simon Peter answered and said, thou art the Christ.
See that? He said that, listen, that man is Hamashiach. Right? And he believed on him. Right? And he got it right. Right? Go to Malachi chapter 4 and verse 5.
It's the book of Malachi, chapter 4 and verse 5. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord.
Right now, the Lord just promised us that he would send us Elijah the prophet before the coming and the great and dreadful day of the Lord. Right? Read.
And he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children.
What is his job to do?
And he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children.
Right?
And the heart of the children to their fathers.
So his job was to come back on the earth to bring the children of Israel back to the Father. Right? Read.
Lest I come and smite the earth with a curse.
See that? Unless the Lord destroys the earth, right? With the chariots and the missiles and the bombs and the destruction. Right? Now that prophecy was fulfilled. Right? Go to Luke chapter 1 and verse 16.
Book of Luke.
All right, Luke 1 and 16.
Chapter 1, verse 16.
Right?
And it reads, and many of the children of Israel shall be turned to the Lord their God.
Right?
17. And he shall go before him in the spirit and power of Elias to turn the hearts of the fathers to the children.
To do what?
To turn the hearts of the fathers to the children.
Children.
Now, Elijah came back on the earth as John the Baptist. Right? That's how it happened. Now, Elijah was taken up. Right? Real quick, go to 2 Kings chapter 2 and verse 11. Right? Elijah was taken up, right, by a chariot, right, that your foremothers and forefathers knew about, singing, swing low, sweet chariot, coming forth to carry me home. Right? 2 Kings chapter 2 and start at verse 9.
2 Kings chapter 2 and verse 9. And it came to pass, when they were going over, that Elijah said unto Elisha, ask what I shall do for thee before I be taken away from thee.
Right?
And Elisha said, I pray thee, let a double portion of thy spirit be upon me.
Right?
And he said, thou hast asked a hard thing. Nevertheless, if thou see me when I am taken from thee, it shall be so unto thee. But if not, it shall not be so. And it came to pass, as they still went on and talked, that behold, there appeared a chariot of fire.
Right? A chariot of fire. Right? These is what the world called UFOs. Right? The world calls the chariot UFOs. They think that they're aliens inside. But really, those are angels. Right? Created by the Most High in vehicles that their technology supersedes so-called mankind on the earth, right? A chariot of fire came, read,
and horses of fire,
right?
and parted them both asunder.
Right?
And Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven.
And Elijah got taken up by the chariot, the same way Enoch was, the same way that Yahweh Shah got taken up in the chariot, right? So go to Matthew 11 and 12.
Book of Matthew, chapter 11, verse 12.
All right.
And it reads, and from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffered violence.
Right.
And the violent take it by force.
The kingdom of heaven is Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans. They are the kingdom of heaven. Right? That's why the Lord said the kingdom of heaven is within you. Right? So the Lord said the kingdom of heaven suffered violence. Right? Suffering, rape, robbery, and oppression, getting your land stolen from you. 70 AD, right? Getting your whole entire land seized and sacked by the Romans, right? Getting taken from the so-called west coast of Africa, thrown on the bottom of ships, brought over across the Atlantic waters, right? Where you're defecating on each other and you have no means of good food and righteousness. You're not able to keep the Sabbath day like you want to.
Right.
Thrown over in the Americas, right? Having your mouth all checked out, sold into slavery, right? That's the kingdom of heaven suffered violence, but the violence is going to take it by force.
That's right.
Right? Read on.
Verse 13, for all the prophets and the law prophesied until John.
Right?
And if ye will receive it, this is Elias.
If you will receive it, this is who?
Elias.
If you will receive it, this is Elijah. Right? So if you got, when it says if you receive it, that means if you're capable of understanding, if you're not on the low level. Right? A lot of people don't, they kind of can't get down with that, right? Regeneration, he came back as another person, right? They're on a low level. They're not able to receive that. So if you're able to understand this, right, you're on a higher level than most of them are. So the Lord said, if you will receive it, this is who?
This is Elias,
right?
Which was for to come.
Which was for to come, right? Read.
He that have ears to hear, let him hear.
Right.
But whereunto shall I liken this generation?
Right.
It is like unto children sitting in the markets and calling unto their fellows.
Right. Now they didn't really understand and grasp the regeneration concept at the time. They didn't get it until later on down the chapters. Matter of fact, get that in Matthew chapter 17. Right? Because they didn't understand what the Lord was telling them. He said, if you receive it, right, Elijah came already. Right? This is John the Baptist. Right? Matthew chapter 17 and start at verse 10. Right?
Matthew chapter 17, verse 10. And his disciples asked him, saying, why then say the scribes that Elias must first come?
Right?
And Jesus answered and said unto them, Elias truly shall first come and restore all things. But I say unto you that Elias is come already.
Right? Because he had to prepare ye the way of the Lord. Right? That's what John the Revelator, John the Baptist did. He prepared the way of the Lord. Right? He was out there baptizing the Israelites, teaching them repentance. Right? Read on.
And they knew him not.
And they didn't know him. They didn't understand. Right? Read.
But have done unto him whatsoever they listed.
Right?
Likewise shall also the Son of Man suffer of them.
Right? Read on.
Verse 13. Then the disciples understood that.
Then the disciples understood. So when he broke it down to them, then they got it. They said, okay, I understand. Sort of like when you first come into the truth, you say, well, hey, brother, what's your nationality? kind of puzzled. My nationality, nobody's ever asked me that. I'm just a black man, right? Then you read Deuteronomy 28:68. You say, hold on now. My people went into slavery on slave ships. Why didn't the pastor ever tell me that? Right? Then the spirit, which is the scriptures, it hits your spirit and it resonates, right? And then you're able to understand, right? Like a lot of people can't understand Revelations 13:9. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. They don't understand that. They don't understand that your enemies got to go into slavery. They don't understand God's judgment. They don't understand that the Lord chastens the Israelites.
Right.
They don't understand these things, right? So it says, then they understood. Read on.
Then the disciples understood that he spake unto them of John the Baptist.
So then they understand, hold on. Oh, that was John the Baptist. Elijah came already, right? And I'm pretty sure I'm led to believe they was out there. Kwam Yashala. How about Shema Mashiach Yahweh? Right? Hey, they was out there. Hey, they was in the spirit, right? Speaking, man. Right? So that's what happened. Right? Get the book of Mark chapter 8 and verse 51. Let me see if that's what I want. John 8 and 51. Slacky. All right, get John chapter 8 and verse 51.
The book of John, chapter 8, verse 51. Verily, verily, I say unto you, if a man keep my saying, he shall never see death.
The Lord said, if a man keep my sins, he's going to never see death, right? He's not going to see that judgment to where he's wiped off the face of the earth in World War III. You understand? But he's going to make it, man. His spirit, that righteous spirit is keep going to regenerate, right? That's what's going to happen, right? Get Psalms chapter 104 and verse 20. Right, Psalms 104 and 20.
Book of Psalm, chapter 104 and verse 20. Thou makest darkness, and it is night, wherein all the beasts of the forest do creep forth.
Right.
The young lions roar after their prey, and seek their meat from the Most High.
See that? The Lord said the animals, they all depend on the Lord. Right? Everybody depends on the Lord. Right? You don't see the trees, the trees, they kind of don't believe in God. They kind of, no. Hey, the trees, they depend on the Lord, man.
Right.
They depend on the Lord's sacrifice. They depend on that harvest when it has to rain, right? They depend on all of the roots in the ground and etc. There's no trees that are atheists, man. The trees, we got our own religion. No, right? Yeah, man, the trees believe on Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shah, man.
Right.
Right? Just like all of the animals do. Right? It said that the lions, read that one more time.
The young lions roar after their prey and seek their meat from the Most High.
Right?
The sun arises. They gather themselves together and lay them down in their dens. Man goeth forth unto his work and to his labor until the evening.
Right?
O Lord, how manifold are thy works. In wisdom hast thou made them all.
Right?
The earth is full of thy riches. So is this great and wide sea, wherein are things creeping innumerable, both small and great beasts.
Both small and great beasts depend on the Lord. Read on.
There go the ships. There's that Leviathan.
There's that Leviathan, all of these great animals, right, that you chiefly don't see now, right? But guess what? They still here, right? Just because you don't see them, don't mean that they're not here, right? Read on.
Whom thou hast made to play therein.
Right?
These wait all upon thee.
All of these things wait upon the Lord, right? You got a lot of people saying, well, I just do my own thing. I'm self-made. Guess what? You wait on the Lord, man. Right? The way the system that you wake up on, the Lord does that. You in your mortal mind, you may not think, well, I'm waiting on the Lord, but guess what? Your body depends. That body is not your body. It doesn't matter if you're an atheist, you don't believe in the Most High. Guess what? It depends on the Lord, right? And the Lord can take you up out of this thing if He wants to, right? And when He wants to, right? Read on.
That thou mayest give them their meat in due season.
Right?
That thou givest them, they gather. Thou openest thine hand, they are filled with good.
Read.
Thou hidest thy face, they are troubled. Thou takest away their breath, they die.
They what?
They die.
Read.
And return to their dust.
Read.
Thou sendest forth thy spirit.
They sendest forth thy spirit.
They are created.
They are created.
And thou renewest the face of the earth.
And they renew the face of the earth all over again. Right? That's the cycle. Right? That's why it's important to be mindful of what you're doing, because when you renew the face of the earth again, you're going to be judged by what you did.
Right.
Right? So you got to make sure you're in the will of the Lord. Why do you think blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans in the condition that we in? A lot of people, they just don't even think about these things, right? We've been in slavery, we keep getting gunned down in the streets, and we can't get up in this society.
Right.
What is the reason for that, man? Go to Lamentations chapter 5 and verse 7. Right? Lamentations chapter 5 and verse 7. It's because you was wicked.
That's right.
Lamentations chapter 5. It's a lot of that. Yeah.
Lamentation chapter 5, verse 7.
Right.
And it reads, our fathers have sinned.
Our fathers have sinned.
And are not.
Meaning they're not physically here, right? You may not see our great-great-great-grandfather King James, right? And you may not see King Solomon on the earth. You may not say, well, that's King Solomon, right? You may not see him, right? Our fathers have sinned and are not. Read on.
And we have borne their iniquities.
The word born is an old word for carry. We have carried the sins that they laid upon us. That's how the Lord get down, right? Real quick, get Jeremiah chapter 32 and verse 17.
Book of Jeremiah chapter 32, verse 17. And it reads, Lord God, behold, thou hast made the heaven and the earth by thy great power and stretched out arm, and there is nothing too hard for thee.
Right?
Thou showest loving kindness unto thousands, and recompenseth the iniquity of the fathers into the bosom of their children.
So the Lord recompensed the iniquity of your father into the bosom of the children. What you have to pay for what your father did. That's why we're in the condition that we in. Right? Bring it out.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 24, verse 16. The fathers shall not be put to death for the children, neither shall the children be put to death for the fathers. Every man shall be put to death for his own sin.
For his own sin, because that was you that went off. Right? That was you. You just came back in a different body. Right? And you didn't know it. Right? Why did you not know it? Right? Go back to the Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 11. Right? You just don't. Yeah, Ecclesiastes 1 and 11. Right? That was you that went off, but you don't know that it was you. Right? And the Lord is going to tell you why. Right? Ecclesiastes 1 and 11.
The book of Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 11. There is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after.
Yeah, so you don't know, right? It may be a sister. Well, hold on, regeneration. I came back on the earth. Well, I could probably be married. I could probably be the father of the Lord, the mother of the Lord. Guess what? You could be, but you don't remember that. You don't know that, right? The brother can't say that, I'm King David back on the earth. Right. Brother can't say that, I'm Elijah the prophet, right? Hey, you don't know that, man. But you come back on the earth. The Lord said there's no remembrance of the former things, right? You may feel like you was here before, but you don't know that. You can't say, I was born on this land and this is what I did. And the Lord did that on purpose so that you won't bug out. All the atrocities that we've been through and that we've seen, Right? We was carried over on slave ships. You know how many nightmares you be having, man?
That's right.
Right? You go back and you looking at Antiochus Epiphanes the fourth, right? Raping you, right? Hey, you a bug out, man.
Right.
Right?
So
So
he said the Most High won't put more on you than you can bear.
you see that?
That's a lot to bear.
Yeah. The Lord said, search not the things that are too high for thee, man. Right? So yeah, regeneration is real and you was here before, right? And this cuts the doctrine of there being a thing called so-called hell. In order for you to understand the heavens, right, or so-called hell, you have to understand the heavens. In order for you to understand those things, you have to understand regeneration.
That's right.
Right? Real quick, just another one on our fathers. Get Nehemiah chapter 5 and verse 5. Right? Nehemiah chapter 5 and 5.
The book of Nehemiah, chapter 5, verse 5. Yet now our flesh is as the flesh of our brethren, our children as their children. And lo, we bring into bondage our sons and our daughters to be servants.
To be what?
To be servants.
So they said, listen, we brought our children into slavery because of what we did. Right? You're Deuteronomy 28:68. Right? You're trying to figure out, well, Harriet Tubman, she did run away. And after she ran away, we ain't catch no break after that. They did kill Martin Luther King. They sprayed us with hoses. After they sprayed us with hoses, right? They beat down, what's the brother in LA? They beat him down on live TV. Rodney King, right? After Rodney King, what you got? You got all these celebrities, right?
Al Sharpton.
Yeah, Al Sharpton putting you back to sleep. After Al Sharpton, what you get? You get
Jesse Jackson.
Yeah. And then you get the brother with the Skittles, right? What's his name? Salakia. Trayvon Martin, man. Then after Trayvon Martin, all hell broke loose, man. Right? Just all manner of hell broke loose, man. So these things happen because of your sin, right? You still being in the Christian church, you're a product of the reason as to why we're still being oppressed. So get out of that madness, man. Right? Bring it out.
Book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
With what?
With ships.
Now, the people that Moses is speaking to, they went and dwelt with Joshua after this. They didn't know nothing about no slavery on slave ships. Right? They damn near saw the kingdom. Right? They didn't know nothing about the Atlantic slave trade, sub-Saharan slave trade. But guess what? They knew about it when they came back on the earth.
Right.
So they went into slavery on slave ships, just in another body. Right? Read that again.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Right?
By the way whereof I spake unto thee.
Read.
Thou shalt see it no more again.
Now you over here in America, not seeing your homeland again. Wondering what's going on, being a nigga man.
Right.
Right? Get Numbers chapter 24 and verse 16. All right, we'll get a few more and wind it down.
I just went by that. I just went by it.
All praises. Numbers 24 and 16.
It's the book of Numbers, chapter 24, verse 16. And it reads, He had said, which heard the words of God and knew the knowledge of the Most High, which saw the vision of the Almighty falling into a trance, but having his eyes open.
Why he fell into a trance, but his eyes are open. A so-called daydream. You know how, you may be at the stoplight and you just sitting there and your eyes just kind of zoom in. Hey, you were in a trance, man. Jake might say, well, I kind of never been in a trance. I want to go into a trance. Hey, you been in a trance before, man. Right? You sitting there, you at the table, you in a so-called classroom, the teacher talking. You don't hear nothing. All you're doing is thinking about whatever the trance that you're in. Your eyes zoom in and just go close. And people looking at you, they doing like this. Hey, wake up. Right? And then you kind of snap out of it. You was in a trance, brother.
Right.
Right? Read that again, King.
It's the book of Numbers, chapter 24, starting at verse 16. He has said, which heard the words of God Yahweh and knew the knowledge of the Most High, which saw the vision of the Almighty falling into a trance,
right?
but having his eyes open. I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not now.
He's talking about the Lord, right? He's talking about Yahweh Shai. He said, I'm going to see him, but not now. And this is a heathen, right? This is a heathen speaking. Read on.
I shall behold him, but not now.
Right?
There shall come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel.
Talking about our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai. Read on.
And shall smite the corners of Moab.
And this man that's going to come, he's going to smite the corners of Moab, those wicked Chinese men, right? For feeding you all manner of lobster, cat, dog, right? Telling you to hurry up and buy, rushing you out of the store, right? Hating on you, going to your neighborhoods, recording you. All right, look at the Negroes, right? Madness, man.
Right.
Right? The Lord is going to kill the Chinese men.
Right.
Right? Read on.
And destroy all the children of Seth.
Right?
And Edom.
And who?
And Edom.
And Edom. The so-called white man. The Lord has come back to kill white people.
That's right.
Read.
Shall be a possession. Syria also shall be a possession.
Right?
For his enemies. And Israel shall do violently out of Jacob,
right?
Shall come he that shall have dominion, and shall destroy him that remaineth of the city.
You see that? So the Lord just told you what's going to happen in the so-called end of the world, where the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American man is going to be freed from their oppression and be liberated into their rightful positions as the kings and the priests of the earth.
That's right.
Right? The Lord just told you that. Right? Get the book of Hosea, because we've been destroyed, man. Right? We don't know what's going on. Our people just lost. They have no idea. Right? They're drunk off their safety, right? Of the media, social media, the world, the so-called sports world, right? All of this madness. Right? Get Hosea chapter 3 and verse 5.
They can tell you more about LeBron and Mashiach.
Yeah, man. They'll tell you about, things that are vanity. Rather, you ask them what a precept is, they have no clue. Right? And this goes for your path, your so-called leaders. Right? You ask them about something knowledgeable of the scriptures, they'll have no clue. They'll say,
right.
Well, just believe on Jesus Christ. Right? Just have faith in Jesus. So the Lord is coming back to kill Christian pastors. Right? Straight up. Right? The Lord already killed 30 bishops of the Church of God in Christ. The Lord killed them. Right? With COVID. Right? Put them to death in the land of the living, man. Because they haven't been teaching our people who we are so that we can be freed out of slavery, man. Right? So bring that out. Hosea chapter 3 and verse
5. Afterward shall the children of Israel return and seek the Lord their God and David their king, and shall fear the Lord and his goodness in the latter days.
In the what?
In the latter days.
In the latter days is the time where the Israelites are going to wake up and fear the Lord and start keeping the commandments. Right? And we're going to be under subjection under our king, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, King David, the 12 disciples, man. Right? The elders. Right? And we're going to have a good government body to rule the entire earth in righteousness, man. Right? Get Revelation chapter 10 and verse 9. Right? Revelation chapter 10. Yeah, we're going to get that. All right. Revelation 10 and 9 first.
Book of Revelation chapter 10 and verse 9. And I went unto the angel and said unto him, Give me the little book. And he said unto me, Take it and eat it up, and it shall make thy belly bitter.
The little book is the scriptures, right? Read on.
But it shall be in thy mouth sweet as honey.
Right.
And I took the little book out of the angel's hand and ate it up. And it was in my mouth sweet as honey.
In your mouth sweet as honey, read.
And as soon as I had eaten it, my belly was bitter.
My belly was bitter after I had understood all of the deep, dark things of the scriptures. Right? Now people calling you crazy. Right? Now you're trying to tell your people that we the Israelites. You're trying to break it down to them. They can't get it. Right? Because the Lord only prescribed it for you to understand. So now your spirit is kind of low, and you know you got to pray more and fast more because everybody think you're crazy because you don't want to play chess anymore, right? You've done away with the cares of this world. You don't want to be a comedian anymore, right? You don't want to be a nigga man, right? Now you're going into your rightful estate as a king and a priest. Right now your belly is bitter, right? Meaning your thoughts in your mind, right? Read on.
And he said unto me, thou must prophesy again.
The Lord told John the Revelator that he was going to prophesy again. Now, John the Revelator was in exile into the Isle of Patmos, right? Now, the Lord said that he was going to prophesy again, right? Read on.
Before many peoples.
And then he was going to do this before many peoples. Read.
And nations, and tongues, and kings.
Meaning he was going to come back on the earth to do the same thing that he was doing.
That's
right? As a prophet, right? So give me Daniel chapter 12, verse 1.
It's the book of Daniel, chapter 12, starting at verse 1.
Right.
And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people.
Right.
And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was seen since there was a nation, even to the same time.
Right.
And at that time, thy people shall be delivered.
Right.
Every one that shall be found written in the book. And many of them and many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life.
Some to everlasting life.
And some to shame.
Because the Lord is going to kill a lot of our people with thermonuclear destruction. 2/3 of our people got to be put to death. Right? So the Lord is coming back to resurrect and save our people, right? That died for the name of the Lord. And the Lord is coming back to kill people. Right? So give me the book of St. John, chapter 8 and verse 32. St. John 8 and 32. Brother Doc. Brother Doc, you get it.
That was St. John chapter 8, verse 32. And it reads, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
And the truth shall what?
And the truth shall make you free.
And this supersedes the Sabbath service, right? Keep the commandments, keep the faith. Fisherman for Zion. We downtown Market Square, Fayetteville, North Carolina, right? Lord willing, at 3:30 to 4 o'clock. Until come and hear the word of the Lord in these last days, right? Repent, keep the commandments, Yasha Allah. Stay strong in the spirit. Get on fire for the Most High, right? Come here, Shala.
Come here,